Rapunzel. The cobbler fell on his knee and bowed his head. Thank you, your mother. The witch picked up the rabbits from the ground, spat on them, and struck them, mumbling some incomprehensible words. Take these, she said, and make sure your wife eats all of them tonight. Don't waste any of them. And don't forget, if you try to cheat me or get off your promise, you will pay with your life. She turned about to walk away, leaving the poor cobbler in his own with his radishes. He climbed back over the wall and into his kitchen, where his wife was waiting. He did not tell what happened between him and the witch, but set about helping his wife prepare the salads and then make sure she consumed all of it. As the witch had predicted, the wife fell pregnant and gave her to the cute little daughter. That very same evening, the witch appeared at the kitchen door and demanded to see the newborn baby. She was obviously very pleased with what she saw, laughing heartily. Hello, dear, my little Rapunzel, she sang in his crackling voice. You're all mine, all mine. And she disappeared, carrying the little girl with her, leaving the cobbler to explain to his wife how they had come to lose their baby. It is said the wife was so sad at the thought of witch having taken her baby that she refused to eat anything at all after that and cried continuously, and eventually she passed away. Nobody remembered what happened to the unfortunate cobbler. The witch, in the meantime, did indeed take very good care of the baby girl, who she named Rapunzel, but the child was never allowed to leave the witch's house and never had a haircut, so that it grew and grew. When she was 12 years old, with her boss, the witch took her to the old tower in the middle of nowhere, where she was locked in a room on the top floor. All around the base of the tower there grew large thorny bushes so that nobody could get near to it. And to make doubly sure that the most treasured possession would not be disturbed, the witch put a magic spell on the entrance door to the tower, making it disappear. The witch would visit Rapunzel every day, and in order to get into the room at the top of the tower, she would have called Rapunzel to let down her hair, which had grown so long that it easily reached the ground. As the hair fell down to the ground, the witch used it to hold on to the while she clambered up to the wall, through the window into the room. Years and years passed. The Rapunzel still locked up in the tower, while the witch brought her food every day. Now it so happened that one fine day, a knight rode by the tower on his horse, and he heard a sweet singing voice coming from the direction of the tower, but try as might, he could not discover the singer. He roved around the tower, looking for an entrance, but there was none. So eventually he rode on, scratching his hand, but so impressed he was by the malaria voice that he could not help himself but to return to this mysterious place. So one day, as he was sitting on his horse, listening to the intoxicating tones coming from the tower, he heard another voice calling out, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. The unjust knight then saw Rapunzel appear in the window and drew her long hair down to the ground. A few seconds later, he saw the witch climbing up the wall and entering through the window. He determined to wait to a place where he would not be seen, and waited until some time later the hair was once more thrown over the window ledge, and he witnessed the witch descending, then disappeared in the road by the forest toward the tower. He did not wait much longer, but then he rode up toward the tower, and stood where the witch had stood. He called out softly, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, please let down your hair. He did not have to wait very long before he saw the beautiful blonde hair come falling down, and without wasting any more time, he climbed up again the wall as quickly as he could, using the hair as a climbing rope. Rapunzel was shocked then. Instead of which he was expecting, she saw the knight standing there in front of her. She hid her face behind her hands and crept into the corner of the room. The cobbler fell on his knees and bowed his hand. Thank you, he muttered. The witch picked up the radishes from the ground, spat on them, then struck them, mumbling some incomprehensible words. Take these, she said, and make sure your wife eat all of them tonight. Don't waste any of them. And don't forget, if you try to cheat me or get off your promise, you will pay with your life. She turned about to walk away, leaving the poor cobbler on his own with his radishes. She climbed back over the wall and into his kitchen, where his wife was waiting. He did not tell her what happens between him and his wits, but set about helping his wife repair the salads and then making sure she consumed all of it. As the witch had predicted, the wife fell pregnant and gave birth to a cute little daughter. That very same evening, the witch appeared at the kitchen door and demanded to see their newborn baby. She was obviously very pleased with what she saw, laughing heartily. Hello there, my little Rapunzel, she said in her creeping voice. You're all mine, all mine. And she disappeared, carrying the little girl with her, leaving the cobbler to explain to his wife how they come to lose their baby. How they had come to lose. It is said that the wife was so sad at the thought of the witch having taken her baby that she refused to eat anything at all after that and cried continuously, and eventually she passed away. Nobody remembered what happened to the unfortunate cobbler. The witch, in the meantime, didn't indeed take very good care of the baby girl, who she named Rapunzel, but the child was never allowed to leave the witch's house and never had her hair cut, so that it grew and grew. When she was 12 years old or thereabout, the witch took her to Old Tower, in the middle of nowhere. There she was locked in the room on the top floor. All around the base of the tower there grew large thorny bushes so that nobody could get near to it. And to make doubly sure that her most treasured possession would not be disturbed, the witch put the magic spell on the entrance door to the tower, making it disappear. The witch would visit Rapunzel every day, and in order to get into the room at the top of the tower, she would call out to Rapunzel to let down her hair, which had grown so long that it easily reached the ground. As the hair fell down to the ground, the witch used to hold on to the while she clambered up to the wall, then through the window into the room. Years and years passed. The Rapunzel stayed locked up in the tower while the witch brought her food every day. Now it so happened that one fine day, a knight rode by the tower on his horse, and he heard a sweet singing voice coming from the direction of the tower, but try as might, he could not discover the singer. He roved around the tower, looking for the entrance, but there was none. So eventually he rode on, scratching his hand. But so entranced was he by the melodious voice that he could not help himself but to return to this mysterious place. So one day, as he was sitting on his horse, listening to the entrancing tones coming from the tower, he heard another voice calling out, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, lay down your hair. The astonished knight then saw the Rapunzel appear in the window and threw her long hair down to the ground. A few seconds later, he saw the witch climbing up to the wall and entering through the window. He determined to wait a place where he would not be seen, but waited until some time later the hair was once more thrown over the window ledge, and he witnessed the witch descending and then disappearing in the road by the forest toward the tower. He did not wait much longer, but then he rode up toward the tower, and soon where the witch had stood, he called out softly, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, please let down your hair. He did not have to wait very long before he saw the beautiful blonde hair come falling down, and without wasting any more time, he climbed up against the wall as quickly as he could, using the hair as a climbing rope. Rapunzel was shocked then. Instead of wishing she was expected, she saw the knight standing there in front of her. She hid her face behind her hand and crept into the corner of the room. These squids can fly? No, really. In the spring 1947, 6 Scandinavian explorers noticed a strange phenomenon while crossing the Pacific Ocean. Somehow, small squid, known to live the deep of the wave, kept appearing on the roof of the boat. The crew was mystified until they saw the squids soaring above the sea for roughly 50 meters. On land, people could barely believe the explorers. It seems impossible that secrets without wings can fly at all, let alone travel half the length of the football field. But over the next several decades, more reports began to surface. Sailing described the airborne squids keeping pace with multiples. Researchers report the captive squids escaping their tank overnight. And as commerce became widespread, seafarers finally began capturing proof of these high-flying cephalopods. But how and why do these marine creatures take to sky? While only a few squid species have the record taking flight, most squids are alike in a way they traverse the ocean. The outside of squid's body is a massive tube of muscle called the mantle. Water enters the tube through the small opening around the squid's head. Then, muscles clamp this opening shut, and the squid forcefully pumps the water through the base of their body. In practice, this makes the mantle in the miniature jetpack, propelling squid through the water at 10 kilometers per hour. This process is also how squids breathe. Squid's gills rest inside the mantle, and simply oxygen from the water being purchased past them. With the gill full of air and the mantle full of water, squids can outpace predators and pursue their prey. Or, in the case of some species, they can smash through the ocean surface and attempt an escape flight. Without the resistance of water, a squid's acceleration is same as a car, going from 0 to 100 km per hour in just over a second. At speed of 14 kilograms per hour, squids quickly generate aerodynamic lift, but to stay in the air, they'll need something like wing. Fortunately, our solar cephalopod has a plan. Squid's tentacles are muscular hydrates, meaning the tissues can be held firm by muscle tension. Splaying its tentacle is a reading formation. The squid transforms them into flexible wing-like structures that stabilize its flight. At the opposite end of this body, two things typically used for gentle swimming find a new purpose as a second set of wings. And by folding these down, a squid can streamline itself and dip back into the ocean. There have been two field observations to establish what a squid typically flight looks like. Based on their flying speed, a 10 centimeter squid could hypothetically launch itself 6 meters above the water. But from what scientists have seen, flying squids tend to glide low, keeping close to the surface. This trajectory allowed the squids to cover the most horizontal distance possible over a typical several seconds flight. It also makes it easy to dive back into the water for more fuel or to make a quick escape from the pregnant. But why do squids fly at all? Leading theories suggest that flight is an escape behavior, as flying squids generally seem to be fleeing in a nearby predator or ship. Other researchers think that flight may be an energy-saving migration strategy because it takes less energy to move quickly through the air and then through water. However, it's also possible that learning to fly may be a vital part of surviving adolescence. Young, smaller squids can potentially fly faster and farther than the larger relatives. And since adult squids tend to cannibalize juveniles, soaring above the surf and help ensuring these young squids will live to fly another day.